Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Getting hotter throughout the day today as temperatures reach into the low to potentially middle 90s. Plenty of sunshine out there. This is going to be a manageable heat, especially compared to what we see later this week. An update on the incoming heat wave coming up.
While we're talking about the heat wave, we're also talking about staying safe and staying cool. Construction and road teams are keeping an eye on the rising temperatures. We'll talk about the steps they're taking to keep themselves cool this week.
And no burn ban. That's despite the high temperatures and extremely dry conditions. Why officials say they aren't taking that step just yet. A lot of people wondering why that is with all the dry conditions that we have been dealing with for months now. Well, thanks for joining us here on your Tuesday morning. I'm Laura Levine in for Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Levingan, and what a beautiful sunrise that we have waking up this morning above Raleigh. That's definitely what you want to see on a Tuesday morning. Same kind of situation above Pittsburgh near meteorologist Chris Michaels as we are beginning a very humid day, Chris.
Yeah, starting out very humid this morning. I will say yesterday morning was probably a little bit stickier, but kind of splitting hairs there as we give you a live look again at Pittsburgh, where so far it's nice and quiet. Muggy meters out of the tropical range right now. It's still fairly steamy out there, but as we head into the afternoon, it'll at least be more of a tolerable heat that we expect. Out the door this morning, Raleigh, Garner, Knightdale, Cary, Apex, Morrisville, you're at 70 degrees. Wake Forest and Clayton down to about 67. So we'll take that kind of a treat compared to what we're going to see in the next few days. Hour by hour, by midday, temperatures are in the mid 80s. Afternoon highs today making it to about 92 in the Triangle. But some days in the triple digits as we head into the 4th of July weekend. We'll update you on how many days we see that potential, where we see that potential, and how long it's been since we've seen a stretch like that coming up.
Okay, Chris, thank you. Let's take a live look at the road conditions this morning as you're heading out for your morning commute. Right now, we have a look at I-87 at New Hope Road, and you can see things moving nice and smoothly here on your Tuesday. If that changes throughout the morning, of course, we'll let you know. Be sure to tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. Raleigh police say a man fired shots into the air outside of an apartment complex overnight. The WRAL breaking news tracker was at that scene on St. Giles Street in Northwest Raleigh. We saw more than a dozen evidence markers on the ground. Police say this happened after an argument and no one was hurt. Police say they have identified the suspect, but he is not in custody.
Today, we expect to get an update on drought conditions here locally. The City of Raleigh officials will be speaking with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers about the water levels at Falls Lake. Water levels have been dropping because of the drought. We've been talking about this for a while now. And the Army Corps of Engineers says that it is now the driest June on record at Falls Lake. As of the most recent update, there is 64% of the Raleigh water supply pool left in Falls Lake. And Raleigh water customers are currently under Stage 1 restrictions. Water levels would have to dip to 45% to trigger Stage 2.
NCDOT construction crews are now preparing to stay safe during the incoming heat wave this week. Let's bring in WRAL's Ali Katlabar. She joins us live from the Blue Ridge Road construction site. And Ali, crews could be working in above 100-degree temperatures. Really, really tough.
Yeah, just miserable conditions there. But if you've ever driven through a Blue Ridge Road here and seen crews working outside, well, it may look a little bit different with those high temperatures ahead. NCDOT says crews will be working during the coolest times of the day, so early morning or in the evening. Now, during the upcoming high heat, NCDOT says they encourage workers to take more breaks than usual. Crews will be wearing long sleeves with loose-fitting cotton and cooling bandanas to keep their body temperatures down. NCDOT says sites have coolers for water, shade systems, misting fans, and heat stress response kits on hand. They have a person at each site responsible for taking care of crews' needs.
We're going to make sure our crews are seeing breaks. They're going to be encouraged to go into air conditioning and their car, in the shade, take extra breaks for water.
Yeah, so if you have to work outside, you should probably do the same. You should take more breaks than you usually would, drink a lot of electrolytes, and take time to rest and recover. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Katlabar, WRAL.
And you can prepare for the extreme heat with the WRAL weather app. Make sure to turn on those push notifications so you can get important weather alerts sent right to your home screen. Fireworks will be going off across our area this weekend as we deal with hot and dry conditions, Chris.
Well, and some people may be asking the question, we have these hot conditions, right? So why is there not a burn ban in place? Let's bring in Kelsey Coffey to answer that question. She is live in Raleigh to talk more about it. Kelsey, we know that there are officials who say the fire risk, it's manageable, at least for now.
Yes, Chris, despite these dry conditions, officials say now is not the time to make the call for a burn ban. Let's take you straight to Drone 5 video that shows you how low the water level is at Falls Lake right now. This really captures how serious this drought is. Phil Jackson with the NC Forest Service says our current conditions are different from what happened during the statewide burn ban earlier this year. Right now, we have humidity in the air that helps plants hold moisture and make them less likely to catch fire. Even though the fire risk is manageable for now, you should still be careful, especially with those 4th of July fireworks. Officials are reminding folks to keep water nearby if they're doing fireworks this weekend, just in case they may need to douse out some flames. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Well, there's an investigation happening because inmates briefly took over a jail in eastern North Carolina. This happened at the Bertie Martin Regional Jail in Windsor. And now the FBI and SBI are trying to figure out how these inmates took control. Investigators say there were 88 inmates and 3 guards inside the jail when this all began. This was around 5 a.m. yesterday. Well, one of the guards escaped while the other 2 were taken hostage. But I should mention both guards were eventually removed safely. A total of 80 inmates were out by noon, and the remaining 8 were out of the jail just a few hours later. The Bertie County Sheriff says that his office will be leading this investigation.
There's a lot of questions about the conditions of the jail. There are a lot of questions about staffing at the jail, and those are things that I do not have because I'm not over the jail. But as the investigation goes on, we will unfold those things, and we will, as always, be transparent with the public.
Well, and deputies have received reports of scammers claiming that one of their loved ones can be released via electronic monitoring if a payment is made. But for now, the jail is closed while staff assess damage to the building. The 88 inmates have been moved to other facilities.
A road rage murder trial is now on hold in Wake County as lawyers argue over the relevance of the suspect's immigration status to the case. The trial of Josue Quintanilla Reyes was supposed to start yesterday, as lawyers don't want his immigration status used against him. He is accused of being in this country illegally before killing Ricardo Cardenas in a road rage shooting on I-40. The victim's family says this delay came as a shock.
We think about my brother every day, especially because the person that he was. It's just a little tough.
It's not clear how long the appeals process will take or when a new trial date could be set.
I'm Destiny Patterson here in the WRAL Live Center. We are starting to see some hopeful images out of Venezuela after earthquakes hit that area there. You can see this is rescue crews rescuing a 3-year-old boy in that area. Again, very hopeful images out of that area. I also want to show you another video of a 12-year-old that was also rescued as well. We know that more than 1,700 people have died in the midst of the earthquakes that have hit that area. So the fire crews that have helped these people during this time, they have said that this actually helps families regain hope. Again, we know that the death toll there has only continued to climb, so we're hoping to see more images like this.
Oh, those poor children. Thank you so much, Destiny, for that update. Trips to the store could soon get a little cheaper for some North Carolinians. This morning, state lawmakers will discuss a bill that would eliminate state taxes on tampons, diapers, and baby wipes. Taxes on those products generate an estimated $50 million for the state. WRAL state government reporter Paul Spade says the sponsor of the bill believes lifting this tax would help North Carolina families.
The bill sponsor, Mike Sheetselt, is a Republican from Wake County. He considers himself a pro-life Republican, and he sees this bill as being pro-life because it lifts a burden on new families when they have to buy diapers or baby wipes. So he hopes to get enough support in the House and the Senate before they take their break for the summer.
And you can follow along with the bill's progress under the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
Your time is 6:09 on the clock right now. Death by distribution. prosecutors hope to use a relatively new law to hold an accused drug dealer accountable for an overdose. Right, proving the charge in court could be difficult.
And taking flight, millions of people are expected to travel this week for 4th of July. A look at the busiest times for airports and how RDU is getting ready. Chris?
And definitely temperatures taking flight too. Potential is there for extreme heat warnings to be issued, something that only happens on average once or twice per year in our part of the country. I'm going to show you which days we see that chance of it happening coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:12, happy Tuesday. Starting you out with a live look outside Zebulon, where we've got some haze, we've got some sunshine, and we've got some temperatures in the upper 60s. Knightdale, Garner, and Holly Springs at 69 degrees. So is Chapel Hill and Durham. Clayton down to 67. So overall, it's a relatively comfortable start to the morning, not quite as humid as we've been in recent days. That's going to take us into the afternoon. We'll be a little bit hotter than yesterday. Temperatures make it into the low 90s in the triangle, so the risk for any sort of heat-related illnesses today is very low. That unfortunately starts to go up as we head late week into the weekend. That's when we're talking about that heat wave that we've been talking about for a few days. We're going to give you an update on that and show you what it's going to take for it to crash when that happens coming up.
Okay, Chris, thank you. Let's take a look at road conditions this morning as you're heading out to begin your Tuesday morning commute. We have a live look at I-40 at Airport Boulevard, where you can see things are beginning to pick up just a little bit, but overall not seeing any major backups or delays at this time. If you're traveling into the capital city from Knightdale, Wake Forest, Apex, zero delay times at this point. So of course, if that changes, we'll be sure to let you know at 101.5 HD3. A Johnston County man accused of selling drugs that killed a man in 2023 is now on trial in Orange County. Jeremiah Hargrove was arrested after the victim, Dolis Indiga Momo, died from a fentanyl overdose. Hargrove is accused of selling him the drugs. The General Assembly enacted the death by distribution law back in 2019. It makes selling a controlled substance that causes someone's death a felony. Retired Superior Court Judge Carl Fox explains why these cases are difficult to prosecute.
You have a little bit of difficulty because the main person you need is deceased. So you only have that person, the person who made the sale. So unless you have someone who was around, who was a witness to the sale, but they are, by their very nature, difficult cases.
And this is just the 7th case in Orange County. Hargrove faces up to 6 years in prison if convicted. And DHHS has reported a 23% decrease in drug overdoses so far this year. The agency is also reporting a drop in fentanyl-related deaths. It mirrors a national trend where we have seen overdoses drop 3 straight years.
2 former NBA players are the latest to be charged in a gambling investigation, and one of them is a former UNC player. Ed Davis played for UNC from 2008 to 2010, winning a national championship with the team in 2009. Well, according to prosecutors, he placed bets on NBA player Malik Beasley back in 2024, and Beasley is accused of adjusting his performance based on those bets. In total, we're talking 6 people who are facing charges in this investigation. Meanwhile, Fayetteville and Cumberland County, they are getting more time to figure out next steps for emergency communications. They're under pressure from the state to combine their 911 communication services. The county says state lawmakers are giving local leaders another week and a half to work things out.
A landmark bill that aims to protect children online is one step closer to becoming a reality. The U.S. House passed the Kids Internet and Digital Safety Act, also known as the KIDS Act, with bipartisan support. The bill would require online platforms to create safeguards for minors. It also limits access to sexual material, gives parents controls on social media and video game platforms, and requires AI chatbots to tell minors that it is not human. The bill now heads to the Senate, where lawmakers have already passed a similar version. Well, we are just days away from all of the big America 250 celebrations here and at our nation's capital. Local and federal officials are putting the finishing touches on preparations in Washington, D.C. Yesterday, crews were out at the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool setting up for the fireworks show. The Secret Service says the National Mall is preparing for up to 150,000 people this weekend.
And folks, if you're headed out of town this holiday weekend, it's expected to be pretty busy on the roads and in the air. The TSA expects to screen 133,000 passengers at RDU between July 2nd and the 6th. The busiest travel days are expected to be this Thursday and this coming Sunday and Monday. The TSA is increasing staff and reminding people to get to the airport earlier than usual to ease the stress.
Our peak travel times are early in the morning, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., and in the afternoon from 3 to 5 p.m. We are staffed to manage our wait time standards. That's 10 minutes or less for TSA pre-check, 30 minutes or less for standard screening.
Now, as part of the preparations, the TSA has canines ready to patrol to look for explosives. And if you're driving, well, here's what you can expect to pay for gas. New data from AAA this morning shows the average for a gas of regular in Raleigh, $3.51. In Wilmington, $3.47. And in Asheville, $3.62.
Yeah, earlier this morning, Chris Michaels was talking about how the temperatures will be taking flight. And that's an understatement, Chris. Even this morning, when I walked out the door, it was like mid-70s at 4 a.m.
Yeah, and we're going to see that a lot as we head later in the week. It's not just the daytime highs, it's the overnight lows that are going to be very warm. So,
it's brutal.
Good old-fashioned heat wave as we give you a live look at Bob. That's the big orange ball right there. Anyways, ignore that silly joke. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s out there this morning. Dew points in the upper 60s. So overall, not as bad as we've seen in recent days, and I expect that to drop a little bit heading into the afternoon. Mostly sunny throughout the day. Midday temperatures are in the mid 80s, and then afternoon highs reach about 90 to 94, with Sanford reaching 94, Raleigh, Goldsboro, Clinton at about 92, Roanoke Rapids reaching the upper 80s. So overall today, it's a manageable heat, but we've been talking for days about this heat wave that's coming up later in the week, especially as we head into Thursday. Reason for that is this large area of high pressure that's really just going to camp out and meander across the eastern two-thirds of the United States. And that's where you find a lot of heat alerts already. The orange being those heat advisories, the pink or magenta being the extreme heat warnings. Those stretching from Louisiana to the upper peninsula of Michigan, from Kansas to Maine. And I would anticipate by Thursday seeing some of those alerts of our own. Tomorrow, mid to maybe upper 90s, shy of a record, could tie the record Thursday and could actually beat it by a degree or two by Friday and by the 4th of July, with temperatures, at least in Raleigh, near or above 100 degrees. So as you head toward the 4th of July, by 11 a.m., temperatures could already be near 90, and then as we settle into the afternoon, we're in the triple digits. So whether or not you're here at home or you're traveling, we've got you covered on the Independence Day weekend forecast on the free WRAL weather app. So for today, again, the heat is manageable. Tomorrow hotter, then Thursday through the weekend, potentially into early next week, you're looking at that heat wave. I do think it crashes as we see more showers and storms coming through early next week. So by next Tuesday, we'll probably fall short of 100 degrees in the triangle.
Okay, some sign of relief. Thanks, Chris. Let's take a look at I-40 at Carytown Boulevard as we're tracking your morning commute here on this Tuesday. You can see that traffic is moving nice and smoothly here in this area, and really overall across the triangle. We aren't tracking any major accidents or incidents at this time. That's been a theme throughout the morning. Of course, if you're traveling into the capital city, drive times looking at 0 right now. Similar situation if you're traveling to Durham as well. As you're headed out the door, be sure to tune us in on the radio at 101.5 HD3. Your time now 6:20, filling up your plate. A 4th of July celebration would not be complete without good food. 5 on your side shows you what you'll pay more for this year and where you could save big. Plus, staying safe in the heat. A professional tennis tournament is happening in Cary this week. How organizers plan to keep players and fans safe. And here's a reminder, if you see breaking news, have a story tip, or take video or pictures of the weather, report it to us. You can go to WRAL.com/report it to send your video, pictures, or tips to our news team. Welcome back. Fans and players are trying to stay cool this week at the Cary Tennis Classic. Plenty of shade is available for fans who want to watch the tournament. Pro men and women from all over the world are competing in the event through Sunday. If temperatures rise above a certain level, there are regulations in place that will trigger a 10-minute delay in the action. If the temperatures keep rising, well, they will have to stop play to keep the players safe.
We're constantly making ice bags. Our team is constantly making ice bags and ice towels that the players can put around their neck. So we're creating things for the players when they're playing in these conditions, even on a day like today. I mean, they're running around. It's a nice day for the South, but it's still hot out there if you're on the court with the being on the asphalt courts with the reflection of the heat.
Yes, so many steps they will have to take. The Cary Tennis Classic has been going strong since 2015. The tournament has become a launching pad for so many of the best young professional players on tour.
This What's Trending report is sponsored by Call Dad AC and Heating.
All right, a big Christmas for movie fans this year and new clues about Taylor Swift's wedding.
All right, let's talk about it this morning and what's trending. So, Angry Birds, they are coming back to theaters with the new trailer that just dropped for Angry Birds 3. In this new movie, Red, who is voiced by Jason Sudeikis, tries to save the world while raising 3 little birds. Josh Gad and Danny McBride also voice characters in this. It's set to come out December 23rd, just in time for Christmas.
I've never seen an Angry Bird movie, but I'm curious as to why Christmas.
You know, maybe it's just the time the family's together, get the kiddos to see something, but I too have never seen the Angry Birds movie.
Okay. Well, we are just days away from Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's rumored wedding. Barricades are now up around Madison Square Garden, where the two are expected to tie the knot. A source tells NBC News that 1,100 guests are planning to attend wedding festivities this Friday at the famous venue. And invites, of course, and invitees were required to sign NDAs. NBC News reached out to Swift, Kelce, and Madison Square Garden for details, but of course, we have not heard back about that.
There's so many rumors swirling about this. I personally hope that people end up going there and it's just an album release party. It's not the wedding. The actual wedding is happening at her mansion.
Yeah, even if it's a wedding, it will be a spectacle of sorts for sure. So many people also planning to perform at the wedding.
We cover the royal stuff. I'm sure we'll cover this as well.
Our version of that.
All right, so we're talking about World Cup action. 2 big teams, Germany and the Netherlands, they went out yesterday. Today, there are 3 more knockout round games on Fox 50. At 1 o'clock, Ivory Coast plays Norway. At 5, it's France versus Sweden. And at 9 o'clock, it'll be Mexico versus Ecuador.
More news at 6:30 coming up now. Staying safe and cool. Construction crews are keeping an eye on the rising temperatures. The steps they're taking to beat the heat this week.
Plus, no burn ban. That's despite the high temperatures and the extremely dry conditions. Why the State Forest Service isn't taking that step, not just yet.
And in regards to the heat, we've actually had 3 days in the triple digits in Raleigh so far this year. The record is 12 times in 1999. I'm going to show you how many more tallies we add up just this week alone coming up.
And here are the winning lottery numbers. We'll be right back after the break.